This week we feature the bluesy rockabilly sounds of Rod Hamdallah. He began singing and playing guitar in clubs at age 16. He played his way into a spot with one of his favorite bands, J.D. Wilkes and the legendary Shack Shakers. He wrote and recorded a swampy, bluesy EP called Think About It a few years ago that has just been re-released on Hound God Records. We also talk about DJing, playing obscure cover songs, and fusing his blues rock sound with the music from the Middle East. Check him out on social media at Rod Hamdallah, Hamdallah. Buy the EP from rodhamdallah.com or houndgod.com, HOUNDGAWD. Catch him on tour. Follow us at Performance ANX on Twitter and Instagram. Our merch is at performanceanx.threadless.com. Subscribe, rate, review, and enjoy Rod Hamdallah on Performance Anxiety.
All right. Hello, this is Rod Hamdallah from Atlanta, Georgia, and you're listening to Performance Anxiety. And I'll be out on the road this October, up the East Coast. I'm going all the way up to Maine, New York, D.C., Virginia. So look out for it, and you can find more info at rodhamdallah.com.
All right, cool. All right, man. Excellent. Well, how you been?
Good. Busy.
Good. You just got off a tour, right?
Yeah, actually the last 3 months straight, sort of, in the Midwest. So a lot of Chicago, Milwaukee, a lot of, Iowa.
Oh, wow.
Wisconsin, Minnesota, Illinois. So, yeah, I just got off a tour. I'm off for a little bit until October. Next one's up the East Coast, so New York and Maine and stuff. So. Oh,
sweet. You going to hit the Mid-Atlantic, like D.C. area anytime soon?
Yes, actually, yeah, I am. Mid-October.
Awesome. Sweet. I'll have to keep an eye on it because let me know and I'll be there.
Awesome, man. Please, yeah, and maybe I have a couple questions about some local support in D.C. because I don't really know that many bands in D.C. at the moment. So
yeah, I'll throw out whoever I can find. I know a couple local bands. I know a couple people who know local bands too, so that would...
Okay, awesome, yeah.
So, and before we get too deep into it, I asked a buddy of mine if he knew you because we both liked your Facebook page.
Okay.
And he said that he'd played with you a few times. So, I don't know if you remember Morgan Gear from Drunken Prayer.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that dude, yeah.
Yeah, Morgan's a buddy of mine.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a long time. We actually... I would frequent Asheville, North Carolina a good bit. Have some friends there, and a friend of mine owns a really cool venue called Fleetwood's. And we put together some solo shows and then did, I guess, a couple full band shows in Chapel Hill and Asheville. So
cool.
He seems to be pretty busy. Seems to be doing pretty well. So that's awesome.
Yeah, his album dropped, and he's been on tour for like 2.5 months or something like that straight.
Awesome. It's great. Yeah, I see some stuff online, Instagram and stuff, but I haven't seen him in a while. It'd be cool to catch up with him.
Yeah.
He played North Carolina or something. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, look at that. I got to connect you guys back up.
Yeah, that'll be great, man. Yeah, tell him I said hey, too.
I will. I asked him if there's any weird stories I should ask you about, and he didn't respond to that one.
Okay.
So,
I don't know. I can't remember if there was any mostly calming, like just our calm nights, just hanging out, good conversation. I don't think any crazy nights. So,
oh man,
nothing weird or crazy. I can remember going hanging out with him. So,
well, how did you get started in music? I mean, did you come from a musical family?
No, I didn't. I actually was like a punk rock kid in New Jersey. When I moved around 13 years old to Atlanta, Georgia, and I kind of just got into a roots scene and rockabilly and blues and a lot of just traditional American music, and was playing drums at the time. And then I met a guy named Sean Costello, who kind of just like, I really, really enjoyed his music, and he kind of never seen anybody like him, sing like him with so much soul and play guitar like that. So I kind of just wanted to be him in a way. So I kind of mocked his singing style and guitar playing, and then and eventually I just started writing my own music. But that's pretty much how I got into like blues and playing music and just fronting a band and writing music. So that was about maybe, say, 2007, when I was 17, maybe something like that. So.
Oh, okay. So you were born and raised in Clifton, is that right?
I was born in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Born in Knoxville. Okay.
Yeah. It's all over the place, sort of. But
I know the feeling, man. I was born in Texas, and I moved back and forth between Virginia and New Jersey myself. So.
Oh, cool.
So I lived in Branchburg, right on the Hunterdon, Somerset and Hunterdon County borders.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just really kind of just stuck around Passaic and Clifton, New Jersey, and then New York City a little bit. But yeah, I was raised there for a good bit, and then raised in Atlanta as well. So like my teenage years, so I was like punk rock youth, and really just got into music just through punk rock and roll, and going to rock and roll shows. Okay. And then getting into blues with different venues. There's a place called Northside Tavern in Atlanta that's like I'm actually playing there Saturday, but that's just like it just oozes with like just soul, man. It's amazing. That's where I saw Sean Costello play a lot, and a lot of great local blues bands, Nathan Nelson, just Americana acts and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I kind of just, Atlanta really kind of put that passion, soul, and I just kind of got that music out of it, more the soul music.
But you started on drums, you're saying? Yeah,
I did. I was more of something to play, punk rock, and then I kind of gotten a whole different variety of music by just learning how to play shuffles, and traditional music on drums. But I still enjoy playing drums. I don't really play in any bands or anything.
So I imagine that would actually help your guitar playing a little bit, keeping it in time with the rhythm section.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then I guess playing guitar, and then I started playing drums like a guitar player. Yeah. So that wasn't really fun for most of the bands. Or the guitar players would always look back and be like, "Hey, just come on, just keep the beat, man. You don't have to play my solos with me and stuff or something." But then there would be good times where it would just kind of just variation of like dynamics and stuff. So that really helped out a lot, like with dynamics. So just knowing as a drummer how to bring it down or bring it back up or speed it up or slow it down and dynamic wise. So that's my favorite thing to do on drums, and my favorite type of drummers are those mostly who play with a lot of dynamics. So I learned a lot. Yeah, so
you've got a really interesting sound, and I've been listening to the EP. I got a lot of questions about this. So I guess first thing, let's hit the EP first. This show, we kind of jump back and forth. It's kind of scattershot. So be prepared for that. But the EP originally came out in 2014?
Correct, yes.
Okay. But it's being re-released?
It was re-released by Hound God Records out of Berlin.
Okay.
I was in a band called Legendary Shack Shakers as well, and he re-released their first record on Hound God. So he was interested in my music, and I kind of was so busy with the band that I didn't really release any new music or write any new music. So he was interested in re-releasing the EP, which is great because it's on a 10-inch vinyl. And so I guess it came out in May or something like that, I think. The re-release came out. But it came out in 2014, and I just was touring heavily with the Shack Shakers, so I couldn't support it. And then now having it being re-released kind of helped out on these tours where even fans that do know the record can have it physically on a vinyl, a 10-inch vinyl, which is kind of cool. That's really cool. But it came out 2014, and but there's new music coming out soon as well. So.
Oh, good. Now, how did you get involved with the Shack Shakers?
Shack Shakers, I opened up for the Dirt Daubers, the other band he had. It was about maybe 2000. I can't remember, 2011, maybe something like that. And he was looking for another guitar player because Dwayne Dennison from the Jesus Lizard was playing guitar with them at the time, and he had a side project called Tomahawk with Mike Patton. So I guess he was going back to that, which is a phenomenal band, and they're all phenomenal musicians. And so then he was interested in my guitar playing, and he wanted to get back in that blues style swampiness of Shack Shakers. Middle era, I guess, or early era of Shack Shakers. And so I auditioned for the band and got the gig, and was in the band for about 5, 6 years, something like that.
Wow.
So, but yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun, and he's still a good friend, and I still enjoy the band, seeing them live, even though I'm not in the band. It's really cool. I just played with them recently. But yeah, that's how I joined the band.
So you've got, and you just mentioned it, you've got this awesome style, this sound that's like you said, swampy, bluesy. I mean, it's kind of like a Junior Kimbrough, R.L. Burnside kind of sound.
Cool, thank you.
Oh, and it's fantastic. It's got, you throw in a little bit of like the Heavy Eyes or some kind of a little bit of stoner rock there. You get this. If you listen to the Heavy Eyes, you've got that real rawness that they've got. It's really good. I can hear. I mean, and I'm sure you get this a lot. You hear references to Black Keys and
right.
I would say not so much the White Stripes, but definitely the Black Keys. But it sounds dirtier, rawer.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
Oh man, that's exactly how I'm hearing it. So, who were your influences to get that sound? I mean, were you drawing on anybody in particular?
I'd say I like Flat Duo Jets. That's more of dirty, garagey. R&B meets punk, but that was one of my biggest influences. But for R.L. Burnside and Junior Kimbrough, definitely for that style of guitar playing and mimicking the guitar line while singing, that kind of stuff. So that was a big influence. I guess when it comes to like dirty blues, stuff like that, it would be John Spencer Blues Explosion was a little bit of a influence. Hound Dog Taylor, just that kind of raw passion, raw blues, like that's just juke joint meets punk. I don't, something like that. It's what I like about it is it, and I've mentioned this to another guest. I think it was Morgan Gear. Awesome.
I said that we were talking about it, and he said he's not trying to reinvent rock and roll.
Right.
So you're not trying to be Tool.
No, definitely not. No, it's not. Besides reinventing it, I don't want to sound like anybody else. But
right.
Just for me, it was naturally just hearing the influences and that favorite type of guitar playing or music writing or singing. It just automatically just came out of me by just being so inspired by that. So whenever I'd cover a song early on that was my favorite, that kind of helped mold an original song or become myself more than just playing covers or something like that. But definitely not reinventing, but it's like if you keep it simple in a way of, blues style or any guitar playing style, but you can put so much extra added onto it, like, some extra to it instead of keeping it so simple,
To me, it sounds like you're being honest when you're playing. It's more about emotion and energy than technicality. It's
definitely,
and it's honest sounding guitar playing, which is what I love, which is what the blues is all about.
Right. Yeah, thank you. I think that's how I try to keep it, and it's all feeling and soul. So every solo is different in the song, even if the song is play the same set every night or same song every night. I mean, the solo will be different because it's just feeling, and that's the honesty I give. So it's what makes me feel really good. So it's my favorite thing to do. So
is that how you kind of came up with the? I've seen some live videos of you. And you'll do. You'll play with your pick, and in the middle of it, you'll pull the pick away, and you'll just start finger picking. Is that how you started doing that?
I started doing that like I sort of started finger picking with blues, and then when it was, I guess, dynamics would come in more. Like I just have to use the pick, but I could sort of play a whole song with fingers, but just every part of the song, or not different parts of the song have different dynamics. So, but it's just a natural thing that I don't tell myself when to do that. It just happens. It's just kind of feeling again. So that's how I sort of started doing that.
The album, the EP is awesome. I've been listening to it a lot.
Thanks so much.
Oh gosh, man! And I'm telling everybody about it. I even got my wife listening to it, so that's good.
Awesome.
You mentioned J.D. Wilkes and Legendary Shack Shakers, and he's on the album, on the EP. He plays on Carry You Home. He does banjo and a Wurlitzer piano.
Yes, correct. Yeah, and he actually did the artwork, the front artwork. He painted that.
That's awesome.
Original artwork that he created. So yeah, and he played on that. It's kind of Halloweenish, I guess, which I really dig. That Wurlitzer part. And actually, I had an organ player at the time who played bass organ on the record, and I wanted JD to play Wurlitzer, and he said, "Well, you have a great organ player already, but it's like just the difference of JD's mind on the track is like really cool." So I know he could. That's what I wanted. So it's something that you can't explain. So you'd have to have someone play it. So,
right.
Which is, I mean, that's one of my favorite parts of the record is his solo on that. So
you've got one song that kind of different than the others on the EP, and it's Heartbeat.
Yes.
That song, I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of. It's kind of like when you saw somebody use silent film footage and they put music to it.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah.
It's kind of
cool. Yeah.
It's just weird. And I'm picturing like the guy on the album cover, like Zoltar from Big, the Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah. That or Alexander the Great, or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's very mysterious and mystique and Eastern European, I guess, and circusy. I really dig that Tom Waits style stuff.
I know what you have done. I know what you said. I know all.
Yeah, like a carnival, or actually, I guess, and this is kind of, I guess, maybe going back to what we were talking about, not really coming from a musical family, but your parents are from Jordan, right?
They're from Jordan, yes, correct.
Okay. Were they listening to more Middle Eastern music while you were growing up, and did that have any kind of influence on Heartbeat?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't think it did on Heartbeat. It did for just the music I like to listen to. I mean, it was more contemporary at the time, like the 90s. I think my mother would listen to 80s, 90s contemporary Arabic music. So it was pop music. But also the older stuff, I just dug into that. I got into that myself. There's Abdul Halim Hafiz. He's a Egyptian composer and songwriter and singer, and it's amazing. He actually did a lot of rappers sampled his stuff.
Oh, really?
Like the song "Big Pimpin'," Timberland. He took that intro of that the violins, the strings. Yeah. So I mean, I got into that stuff. That's more of I guess orchestra and orchestrated stuff. But I guess. That, and then I really got into Western African stuff, West African, like Mali, and so there's a band called Tenarwin, so Tuareg music, desert blues. I really got into that. So I guess that kind of, the Heartbeat would be more Eastern European, maybe, like circusy and klezmer, which I really dug. There's a band called Kaiser's Orchestra that I listened to a lot, that JD actually got me into in the past, which is really great. It's this Norwegian band. And I guess that influenced a lot. And they're like Tom Waits, but like they're more contemporary Tom Waits, but poppier.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's a band that kind of got me into that stuff too. And then I guess it's a melting pot of a bunch of just Eastern and Middle Eastern stuff that kind of influenced that song.
Are you gonna? Now, I'm assuming you're writing more and more music as you get out on the road and. Even when you have time off, are you going to be able to maybe meld those two worlds somehow?
Yeah, I actually have a song that I'm going to release that's a kind of a Tuareg blues style thing, like Tenarwin or Emirhan from Algeria, like that kind of desert blues, and the drum beat meets the minor blues licks kind of stuff. So it's a really interesting song and really cool. So I kind of try to put that stuff into actually just any song that I already do in the set. But I am writing a bunch more on the road and off the road. But I guess there's just a few of that influence, not really that much. That's kind of, it's more that I notice it than, somebody else would. But, kind of like just make the song. So just that. So I'm trying to just put little parts in there to inspire it. That music.
That's awesome. See, I love when that happens. One of my favorite EPs is Ry Cooder and VM Bot.
Oh, yeah.
Across the
Ali
River?
Farquatoré, or
What's that?
is it Ry Cooder and Ali Farquatoré? Was that the one? Or?
He might be on it. I know VM Bot is on it.
Okay.
He's the percussionist, I believe. Ry Cooder's on it. I think his son plays on it. It's just a 4-song EP, but it's amazing. It's called.
Yeah.
I think it's called Across the River.
Yeah, I think there's one he did with Ali Farquatoré, which Ali Farquatoré is kind of the veteran godfather of the Tuareg music in a way, or contemporary. I mean, because it's blues and traditional African music from Mali. I think they did a record together. I don't remember the name. It might be that one. It might be Full Record. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I've got to check that out. And one of the things I really love is when somebody would do that, take unusual influences or influences that maybe you don't hear all the time and meld them with electric blues or something, so you get a nice distorted guitar in the middle of this Eastern European beat or Middle Eastern beat. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I think that's the blues is pretty much just kind of derives from a lot of African music anyways, and old time music, banjo coming from a gourd and African gourd, so stuff like that. So it all kind of comes together, and blues kind of, I'm not a kind of person that says, if you don't know the blues, you don't know music. That's right. Bullshit. But it's like, more of just blues does help with a lot of like that, where it comes from. And if you can mold that music, it's kind of the same anyways. So it's a good starting point to start melding different styles of music together, more Western and Eastern musics, I think. Right.
So speaking of your guitar and distorted electric guitars, you've got this awesome sound, like I mentioned before, the R.L. Burnside kind of sound. Do you use vintage equipment, or are you able to get that sound with newer stuff?
I've been using the same amp since I started. It's a Fender Hot Rod DeVille,
cool.
And it's just got a drive pedal, and I have a 62 Silvertone Stratotone guitar. So I think those pickups kind of make it dirty, and the drive is a perfect amount of drive, so it's fairly simple. But I guess the guitar and amp itself are just give it that tone. And once I found that tone, I'd never did anything else. So. Oh yeah,
I wouldn't either, because the sound. I guess the best way for me to describe it is that when that overdrive kicks in, the amp sounds like it's right on the verge of exploding.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. That's what you want.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And that's. I mean, when I the first time I put the EP on and I listened to think about the title track, think about it, the very first track, and you got that blast of feedback to start off the song, that won me over. Awesome. That was it.
Oh man, thank you. Yeah,
that's the kind of stuff I love.
That's something I did use I think a muff pedal or a fuzz pedal, so that kind of like amped it up some more. And I think on a couple solos on that album, I've used a fuzz or a muff pedal, but normally I just keep it just a little bit of drive, and it would feed back anyways. So it's just kind of with that guitar as well, because those pickups, it's so old and it's still my hollow body. So, but yeah,
that's fantastic, man.
Thanks.
I love it. So, do you travel? Is that the rig you take on tour with you? And is it?
Yeah, wow. That's, every gig is that same setup, pretty much. That's
a workhorse. Holy crap!
Yeah, it's lasted since I guess 2007. So I mean, I'm very lucky. Knock on wood. But
Oh shoot! Wait.
Never had any.
I don't want to ruin it for you.
Yeah. No, I've never had any problems with the amp. So luckily, the guitar it's just a simple plank of wood, which I like. So, but still, like it's so old, you can't really replace many things on it. So I try to keep that, as in good shape as I can. So.
Yeah, because I mean, you start replacing bits and pieces, and your sound changes. And
right, exactly. And actually, only one pickup works on that guitar, so yeah. So, and I've never gotten it fixed because if I can't find that actual pickup, that original pickup, I don't know how that pickup sounds originally. Yeah. So if I can't find that and rewire it, I don't want to change the sound at all. So I just kind of keep it that, and it does. I do well with it, so it works.
Oh,
it works
man.
out.
So. When you're out on the road and you're decompressing for a show, what do you actually end up listening to normally?
On the road, I mean, I like to listen to vinyl a lot more. So I guess that's more of like the collection I have of all music I really dig and just like to sit and listen to. On the road, I'd say a lot of the Tuareg music, kind of Tenarowin. I guess what I've been listening to lately on the last tour, a lot of sappy stuff too.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I got this Raylan Baxter. He was pretty cool. I think he's in Nashville. That was something I really got glued to a little bit. And then I don't know, it just varies. I mean, I'm not like sometimes I could be in like what mood I'm in, listen to. But I mean, driving, just something rocking. I can't even remember what I listen to right now.
Yeah, it's kind of sprung that one on you. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I like to listen to a lot of old doo-wop and R&B and stuff. So like, there's a playlist I'll make, and I also DJ. So a lot of stuff I DJ on 45s and 12 inches and everything, just actual vinyl. So a lot of that stuff, I'll make playlists on that for the road of just like what to listen to. So just a lot of cool northern soul stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so like just old R&B and doo-wop stuff too. So
I'll tell you something and you may not like it. I don't know how heavy you go in your musical tastes, but when we're just talking about mixing genres of music, mixing styles and different music from different areas of the world, I was trying to think of the band that was the weirdest mix of two different styles of music. And I'm like, I was thinking about this band today. I wanted to mention it to you just because it was such a weird mix. And then I couldn't think of it, and it just popped into my head.
Nice.
It's a band called Tengger Cavalry.
Okay, I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Tengger or something like that. It's like thrash metal with Mongolian throat singing and traditional Mongolian fiddle.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I think I've heard of that. I never heard them, but
yeah, there's two bands I know of.
That's my new favorite band, but that it might be cool. I'll have to take a listen to it. So.
There's two. There's Tengger Cavalry, and I think one's just called the Who, or it's like HU. Who. Okay. I don't know how to speak Mongolian, so I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But I know Tengger Cavalry. They use like it's like a 2-string bass or something and a fiddle. There's like 6 guys in the band, and they do that. Weird Mongolian throat singing.
Didgeridoo sounding, or
but it but it sounds like a didgeridoo, but it's the guy's throat.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah.
Cool. Okay.
It's just weird stuff. So that came out of nowhere, but
cool. No, I'll check it out though. Yeah.
So if you like heavy thrash, like old Metallica thrash kind of stuff.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Like that, and like DRI and Slayer kind of.
Yeah.
Old,
yeah.
The start of it, I guess. So. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. So, what prompted you to record the EP in the first place?
I just needed music for one. I didn't have any recorded music, and I was starting to write more. So I was 24, so I was starting to write a lot more, and having recorded music. So I guess I just wrote an EP. So I mean, there's a lot of, I like to kind of stories. So I'll take the songwriting be from like an actual thing, but then like make a story up at it too, or just. But that was like my early songwriting era, anyway. So a lot's changed in this lyrics and stuff too. But
okay.
But yeah, I needed music ultimately, and just recorded an EP.
Is that the first thing you recorded and released?
That is, yes, under my name. Yeah.
And does touring with the Dirt Daubers and the Shack Shakers, does that change the way you've approached writing at all?
Yeah, a little bit. Especially writing music with JD, or just playing music with him in general. He's a phenomenal songwriter, and so it kind of was a big inspiration on learning, trying to push myself to read more, just that in one way.
Right.
So I did. I mean, and the touring, there was a lot of it was heavy touring too. So that was a lot on my mind. But then like at sound checks, I'd start writing music, or at least melodies and guitar lines and hooks. So it helped me play more music. So I had to play more music. So for one, that helped me write more music. So that was a good thing.
Touring. All right. Touring.
Yeah.
I heard an allusion to a story in an interview that you had done, and while I was doing my research, something that happened at the Star Bar, some weird story about somebody's guitar going through the ceiling or something.
Oh, that was probably Shack Shakers. That was way before I was in the band, but I guess JD got banned from the Star Bar because he went up in the ceiling, the ceiling tile, and he fell down, and all the ceiling fell down. So,
my gosh.
So yeah, that was Shack Shakers, but that was way before I was in the band. So yeah, I wonder what was that an interview I talked about, or I wonder if it was Shack.
It was I think. Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. It's either you. I think the host brought it up. God, I'm trying to remember the name of this one. It was a podcast you were on in Atlanta recently.
Yeah, it was probably Creative Loafing.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That was
Chad. Yeah.
Okay. So I just promoted another podcast on my podcast.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, Chad's a badass dude, so at least you're promoting him. But yeah. I'll bring you up next time I do a podcast with him. I'll bring you up.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, turnabout's fair play. All right. So and has anything weird like that? What's the worst thing that happens to you on tour? I mean, have you had any? You haven't fallen through the ceiling at anywhere?
No. I mean, I've never gotten up in the ceiling either. That was JD, but JD's a phenomenal frontman. I guess there have been people just rude and throw stuff on stage just because they're drunk or they came to a show that was before our show kind of thing, and they're still there, and then the crowd kind of just deals with it, or somebody they get kicked out. But I guess it's kind of, stuff like that kind of helps my banter get a little wittier on stage, and just kind of, instead of being an asshole, I'll just kind of play on it and make it funny, and that kind of helps. But that happened recently, but nothing drastic. But yeah, I can't think of anything weird on tour. I mean, it's been a really chill couple of months on tour. Great shows and just good travel. So. And
you've been playing professionally for years now, since 16, 17?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
How did you get started at that early of an age?
Just going to the blues venues and the rock clubs in Atlanta. And then, as I said, Sean Costello was a big influence. So just doing that, and then just started doing it full time.
Man.
And I kind of just started hiring bands. I wasn't very good, but I just figured out that's something I could do, is hire bands and just learn how to play covers. And then eventually I got on my own and kind of just started writing music. But yeah, I guess just at that early age, it just felt like that was something to do, because it was the best thing for me to do, either skateboard or, I don't know. I mean, I was trying to make films like when I was a kid, like skate videos and stuff like that with my friends, but music kind of took over. So, but I'm thankful. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got to give you tons of credit, because when I was 16, 17 years old, there's no way in hell I'd have been confident enough in myself, in anything I was doing, to get up on stage and do it in front of everybody.
Yeah, no, I got more confidence as a kid because I sucked and I didn't care. And then when you get better, I guess you start judging yourself like, oh man, I could be better at something or whatever, even though people really dig the song or the music, and I'm just like, oh, I've been playing that song forever. I kind of I hate the song or something like that. So, but no, I mean, that doesn't happen much, but
So you mentioned you play some covers. Do you have, before we get into some of the covers, because I was listening to some of them, and they're really awesome. I know you've got 5 originals on the EP. And I looked on the website, and there's a couple tracks on SoundCloud.
Okay.
So how long is a typical set for you?
It's about 60 minutes at our normal set, but I mean, there are a couple obscure covers, and there are originals that aren't online. Okay. So there's a 7-inch vinyl that I have that has 2 songs that we do. We do 3 songs off the EP. There's 3 other new songs that aren't released yet until hopefully this year. But we do St. James Infirmary. That's one of my favorite songs.
That's a great song.
Yeah, and I do that last normally. And Shane Pringle, my bass player, he plays sax on that song. So it'll be a duo normally, and then he'll just get up and play sax. So it's really, really cool.
Okay, what we've got to do? Well, I've definitely got to get you together with Morgan again, because Morgan's done that as a closer at his recent tour, and it's amazing. If I can hear the 2 of you guys doing that song together, it would be mind blowing.
That'll be awesome. I'd love that. Yeah, he's I like his song, like kind of the dark blues, lyrics and stuff like that. I could see him doing St. James. That would be awesome. I'd love that.
Yeah,
really, really.
Yeah, I gotta figure out a way to get you two together somehow. I don't know.
Well, maybe the next tour, if he's not touring, maybe you can figure out if we can do some shows together.
Yeah.
Because I am looking for some bands to play with on this next East Coast tour. So.
Oh man,
so maybe awesome. Maybe you talk to him and we can figure that out.
Yeah, I just shot him a whole bunch of venues to play that are like mid-sized venues that are
cool. Okay.
Smaller like dive bar areas and stuff too.
Right. Okay.
So if you guys come up, no, oh no, well, come on, I don't want any secondhand smoke, man.
It's a podcast.
Yeah. Do whatever the hell you want, man. So I was trying to find as much music and listen to as much of your music as I can, and I heard some amazing stuff here. Some of the covers. So you've done songs by Skip James, Laverne Baker. You did Howlin' Wolf Smokestack Lightning, which is one of my favorite songs of all time.
I just try not to do the standard blues stuff unless it's something where it might be a show where we had to do a couple sets or something.
Okay.
But I love that song. There's, like the Skip James song, Devil Got My Woman, is one of my favorite songs. And I try to do that more of an original style. Obviously, not like the original. That's a falsetto solo acoustic. So I could do that, but it would be very different from the set.
Throwing a curveball to everybody.
Right, exactly. Yeah, in the middle of the set, just do that. It's one solo falsetto song. That'd be kind of interesting.
You do your own little acoustic session. You like Led Zeppelin when they were touring in the mid '70s. They would stop everything, just do like 3 acoustic songs, and go back to everything.
Right, yeah.
That could be your like mini acoustic set.
Yeah, very dark blues songs in the middle. Move quick.
Hey, real quick, let me just do one acoustic falsetto song.
Yeah, right. Or just and then start speaking in a falsetto voice.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
That would be awesome. Mm-hmm. I heard a track that you did, and I want you to tell me a little bit about this song, because I don't know if it's a cover, if it's an original, or a song called Lies.
Lies. Oh, wow. If I remember, that was a Black Keys song.
Is it?
Yeah. So
okay.
I covered that right when I guess I started changing the style to like more of that. I guess I was in maybe a little bit of the Black Keys, but not like so much. It was just something that was R.L. Burnside, Junior Kimbo, very similar music that's kind of dirty and has more soul than it has more fast punk rock style of a style. So I think I covered that song, which I really, really dug that song. I still do. I think I did that. I think it was about 21.
Okay, because you're also playing a gorgeous Les Paul on that one, too.
Oh, yeah. So that was definitely early days. Yeah, that was it's an Epiphone. It was an Epiphone Gold Top Les Paul.
Oh, okay. Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I don't know what happened to that guitar.
Oh, no. It wasn't stolen or anything, was it? It wasn't one of those stories.
I might have sold it for another guitar and a guitar that was cheaper. I can't remember. Or to start a tour.
Yeah.
So I was starting to tour a lot where... I needed gas to start the tour or something like that. So I think that's what I had to drive to Kentucky. So I think I remember selling that guitar. So it was unfortunately not how much it was worth, but
man. Well, everybody's got those stories when they're starting out. So that's
exactly, yeah. Luckily, that's the only gear I ever had to sell. And I've had 2 guitars given to me by close friends that are amazing. One's a Silvertone and one's an Airline Harmony.
Oh,
they're both similar, and they both kind of look the same. One's a Bobcat, and they're phenomenal. They're amazing sounding guitars. So that, and then I have that Stratotone. So I just have those 3. So it's all very similar in era of guitars and stuff now. So those 3 guitars.
Going back to you being like 16 years old and starting to tour, were you singing originally? When you first got up and started playing live, did you just start up and play guitar and sing?
I did, yeah. I couldn't sing very well, but I did. I would do like just, I don't know, like just rockabilly songs, the Cramps. I did then it's blues songs like Freddie King, Ray Charles, stuff like that. But a lot like that punk rock kind of crossing over to the blues style stuff too. So I like the Paladins, the Red Devils, the Cramps, the Blasters. So I was covering stuff like that too.
Yeah.
So that kind of West Coast rockabilly, rock and roll kind of style. But yeah, I was singing. I couldn't really sing that well, so I was doing that. But it helped me learn how to sing by just covering. So
again, I can't imagine being 16 years old, getting up on stage, playing guitar and singing. I can't imagine getting up on stage and singing now.
Right, yeah, I try to forget about it. So when I was that age doing that, so I don't really remember that much of it. So that's maybe a good thing.
And they're not even coordinated enough to do it. Even on my own, I couldn't do it. That's to me that's one of the amazing skills of guys like you and people who are able to play an instrument and sing at the same time. It doesn't even matter what instrument. I just can't do it. I'm just not that coordinated.
Yeah, I mean, the more you do it, the more it becomes natural. And I think that for me, like even in the studio, it's hard for me to sing without a guitar. If it's something that's like a complicated composition, maybe I kind of tend to grab a guitar and sing. Well, I mean, the guitar would be off and acoustic, but it won't be. It's already guitar's already recorded, but that kind of helps. And then just singing without a guitar on stage I feel naked kind of thing. And it doesn't feel natural. So unless I'm sitting in with somebody and hey, let's do this one song. I was like, cool, I'll sing a song, and then I'll figure out a way to, use the mic stand as a prop like James Brown or something.
Yeah.
I don't do much, but I'd like to do that more. But
so do splits on stage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I guess it becomes natural. I mean, for anybody, I'd say just if you start to do that more, then it's just going to become like your body mechanics will. It's like playing the drums. Something like where your body you can't. Sometimes when you start playing the drums, you can't help but move two limbs at the same time or something.
Right.
So I think we have poor connection.
Okay, I can still hear you and I can still see you. So we're good on my end. It's funny. I'm usually the one that gets that problem. I don't know what's going on. This is weird.
It might be the Wi-Fi. I could turn off the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, mine always does that.
Yeah, that's a first for me, so I don't know. But there you are. Okay, yeah, it was the Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I guess I'd like to play guitar and sing more than either or.
Okay.
And I think singing is one of my favorite instruments is my voice, so I kind of tend to like to do that more than play guitar. I don't know. It's a complicated thing because both I like to give so much doing it, and like that sincerity and soul it kind of feels really, really good doing that. So doing it both together can be exhausting and beautiful at the same time. I love it.
I can imagine. And the more exhausted you get, almost the more soulful it can sound.
Right. But then again, I'm very lucky to do that for a living, so I don't know why I'm bitching about it.
It didn't sound like bitching to me.
But yeah, good.
Do you have any singing influences? Well, I know we already talked about your guitar influences. Do you have any for your voice?
Yeah. Sean Costello, for one. He's not the main one, but I just feel like I always have to give that nod to Sean because he kind of did help me sing, seeing him play live and listen to his records. Snooks Iglin, blues, like kind of a New Orleans street singer kind of blues. Who else? Little Willie John. And I'm gonna say a bunch that I'm gonna remember some later on that I was like, damn it, that's my favorite thing.
That always happens.
Yeah. I guess Marvin Gaye, early Marvin Gaye, some of my favorite. I know the way he just has a distinctive voice in general. So I like that style of singing too. Who else? I mean, Ray Charles is always amazing. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. I can think of some more, but yeah.
It's funny.
Soul.
Yeah.
Soul and R&B.
And you can hear it in your singing, so it's definitely. I can hear the influence of some powerful vocalists there. So it's
awesome. Thank you.
Some of the covers that you do. How do you like to pick stuff that's a little obscure, or would you rather do something that is a little more well known by the audience?
Definitely obscure. I think if I cover a song, it's something that I really enjoy listening to, or something that kind of like takes me by surprise while listening to it. Like, if it doesn't make me feel a certain way, then I don't want to cover it. Just same thing as like writing a song. If it doesn't make me feel just like, wow, this feels good to sing this, or then I wouldn't want to do it. So I think obscure cover songs, and it's not like I dig for an obscure song just to be like, hey, I covered this song before anyone knew about it, kind of thing,
Right.
So there's like Lee Moses' Bad Girl. I don't cover that song, but that's an Atlanta soul singer, phenomenal Atlanta soul singer, which I remember where it's a very rare song to find on vinyl. I don't think you can find on vinyl, but that was something where that started being played a lot more. So I was like, oh man, I really wanted to cover that song. And but it's just kind of like, it's one of those songs you don't cover because it's just so good by itself. It's kind of like you can't do that justice.
Right.
You just have to leave it alone.
Yeah.
So there are songs like that where I kind of tend to leave alone, but it's, I guess it's obscure, mostly obscure, like stuff that I'll find on vinyl, just collecting vinyl 45s and DJing and stuff. So I kind of tend to, sometimes I want to cover a song that's kind of modern, but I want to put a twist on it,
Okay.
Modern in a way, not mainstream, but like something where, I don't know, there's a band, I was thinking the other day to cover, I don't know. I can't remember. It might be embarrassing to say if I remember it. We
can always edit it out if it's too bad.
Yeah, right. There we go. Good. Yes. But no, yeah, I'd say more obscure. And if it's something just like if it makes me feel good and I want to cover that song, I'll just sometimes look at the band and be like, hey, let's just do this song. And be like, all right, cool. It might be a simple thing to do. I just feel like singing that song, or
so it's just got to move you.
That. So what is it, sir?
It's just got to move you, really.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Boils down to that with all the music I perform or record. So
you mentioned DJing. Do you do a lot of DJing still, or?
Yeah, a little bit. Whenever I'm off the road from touring, it's something where it's just a lot of fun because a lot of my friends DJ as well, so they'll come out. We'll all support each other.
Why do I get the feeling that like a set from you would be like Screaming Jay Hawkins and then like Jeff Buckley and
Screaming Jay Hawkins is a good start. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, Screaming Jay Hawkins, I'm just like, now I can't remember anything. I'm trying to think of like a lot of ska, like the Blues Busters from Jamaica. So I'll do like a block of ska, and then I'll do a block of like R&B, and then like, yeah, obscure, like Screaming Jay, and who else? Like just kind of,
that too was the best.
Like stuff like that, and garage rock, maybe the Sonics and stuff like that. But yeah, I really enjoy DJing because I get to like whatever I'm collecting records I find on the road, I get to play them live, and it's definitely a better feeling playing them in a bar or a restaurant or a venue. Just DJing, it's just cool. You get to like see people dancing to it. It's kind of cool. So
and I was like stuff like I think a set like from you would be really fascinating because if you're playing some obscure stuff. Whether you mean to or not, you're probably exposing people to things they haven't heard before. So
right, yeah, and I'll get a lot of folks come up and say, "Hey, what song is that?" And my biggest pet peeve though when I'm DJing is when if the people can see the turntables, they'll try to move their heads to try to read the label, and it's like, what you can do is just ask, just like, what song is that? And they'll just like put their head on top of the turntable. It's like, come on, really? Like, so that's that kind of gets on my nerves sometimes.
I can imagine.
But a lot of the stuff is obscure enough that people will ask, like, oh, that song is so cool. And I tend to DJ stuff that people normally don't play, or you don't hear DJs play. I guess that was a big thing, like touring Europe and the UK. After we'd play, there'd be amazing dance DJs playing this really obscure stuff. So I'd go ask the DJs in Spain or England, London, like, hey, what song is that? That's really cool. And like, they'll tell me the song, and then I'll just go to the record store in the city and just try to find it, or find a compilation with that on it, or or similar music like that. So a lot of that stuff where it's Northern Soul, or just even obscure like R&B that has that weird singing or something, like like a
regional thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So and a lot of that stuff, like over there, they tend to have more of that stuff in their record stores. So and different labels that release it, locally there. So
So how big is your record collection at this point?
Oh man, I'd say LPs almost 1,000. Maybe like
Nice.
no, that's maybe it's too much. Maybe I'm just it looks like that. I'd say like 600, maybe something like that, 600,
Nice.
and then 45s maybe like 150 or something. I don't know. And then I kind of like tend to like DJ only certain LPs. Like I have a box of them. And then like once in a while, like if I'll DJ like 2 nights in a row, I'll probably use the same LPs, but it's always still the B-sides or something like that, the 45s. Yeah. And then I'll just feel like, oh, well, this is what I feel like playing tonight or something like that. So it's kind of like a set list. So same thing.
Do you collect more for your DJing, or do you collect more for your own personal leisure time listening?
For personal, like collecting and listening. So there's stuff that I'll find that's like, wow, that's amazing. So I'll only play it like twice ever. Yeah. If it's a first pressing or something like that. But I tend to I stopped caring about that so much now that I'm just like, I just want to enjoy the records. So that's why they were made. So for that reason. So 45s, I'll find some DC actually, SOM Records, SOM.
Okay.
That's actually, it's right in front of the Black Cat venue, I think, on that major.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that place, I found phenomenal 45s for like a quarter, and it was like just stuff that was in good condition, but they were just trying to get rid of all these 45s. So a lot of stuff, like I found Little Willie John, I'm Shakin', so that was cool to have that on 45. So then after that, I was trying to find like a set list of stuff like that and find 45. So I just get excited about if I find a cool single, I'll just can't wait to DJ it, It's kind of a cool feel. So, yeah.
Do you have anything in your collection that's kind of like a prize collection that you don't want to, that you got because it was so rare, or anything like that?
Let me think. I'd say
something that you really don't want to pull out to DJ,
right? Because
it's a little too valuable or means a lot to you.
Yeah, I mean, I have a pretty wide honky tonk collection in country western, which I really like to. I don't really DJ that much unless like there's a country show going on that I need a DJ for. But
not a lot of call for DJing Porter Wagner, huh?
Yes, exactly. Yes, yeah. Perfect. Yes. So I'd say Roger Miller is one of my favorite artists in general.
Oh, man.
So
yes,
I have a good bit of Roger Miller that I just kind of don't want to play or. Because you can DJ Roger Miller, there's some songs that are pretty get people dancing. I'd say, what else is there? I know there's an Al Green first pressing.
Oh, wow.
It's got I forgot the name of the record. It's got I'm a Ram on it. It's got all that stuff. I can't remember the name of the record.
Did you cover that song, or was that the Shack Shakers? Or was it Sean Costello that did that?
Sean Costello did. Okay, he covered I'm a Ram. Yeah. And his version is phenomenal. He recorded on his self-titled record as well. So.
Okay, I know I had seen it today. I'm trying to remember who it was, because I tried to figure out, listen to as much associated with you as I could, and some of it kind of melded together, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's great. Yeah, man. I'm glad you got to see that or listen to that. He covered that song. I'd see him play that live, and then when I found that record, that whole record's great. I just can't remember the damn record. But there are plenty of stuff. Oh, there's a live Cramps record that I kind of really cherish, I guess. I love it, but I don't really play it out live much or DJ it.
That's awesome. Well, look, I mean, I've kept you for quite a while, almost an hour here now. I really do appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming on with me.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me, man. It means a lot. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Now, where can people find the EP, and where can they follow you on social media?
I'm all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, under Rod Hamdallah. You can find the EP on my Bandcamp website and my website, rodhamdallah.com. And you can also order the 10-inch currently at houndgodrecords.com, the record label. And look out for new music. We'll hopefully be out in the next few months. So.
Awesome, man. I'm looking forward to hearing some more. Thank you so much. One more question before I let you go. How's the reception for you on tour? Does it vary from location to location? Because you're playing some awesome swampy blues, but I can imagine that would go over well in Chicago, New York, the South. How does it go over well on the West Coast, Midwest?
Actually, I mean, the West Coast, I haven't toured the West Coast under my band, just the Shack Shakers, and that's a huge music following for roots music as well. But the Midwest, actually, it's a great response, and people dance and they love the music, and there's a good bit of fans there, which could be surprising. I mean, but it's not really surprising when you go to Minnesota or Wisconsin and people actually it's great, phenomenal. People really love music. So,
cool.
Yeah, it doesn't, for me, it doesn't have to be a big city. It could be a really small city. And if people really enjoy music and they come out and come to see live music, especially someone from the South or drives that far, and that means a lot. So, that's why I continue to play places like that, I guess. So,
yeah.
Awesome.
Well, man, look, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, man. And truly, I love the EP. It is really, really kick ass.
Thank you so much,
and
man. That means a lot.
Definitely looking forward to new music, man. Definitely.
Awesome. Yes, soon. Very soon. Hope so.